Today my dad takes on a new challenge for 10 seasons. And it's an old favourite of the channel, it's the Youth to Gold. A concept in which you're only allowed to buy players 19 years old or younger. And after season 2, you're also not allowed to play players who are 30 years or above. With the concept hopefully going to make your club filthy rich with cash. And also win a lot of major trophies in the process. And my dad has decided to do this with one of my favourite clubs, Eintracht Frankfurt. Right, Dad, Youth to Gold time.
Yep.
You're finally taking on the challenge, and of course, you're doing it with my favourite German club, Frankfurt.
Might as well. And I do it with one of the teams that we both like, so...
Exactly. So we've established what the rules of the Youth to Gold is. As always, this is Dad's first time taking on this challenge, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does, because usually you're not really one to focus on youth.
No, I'm not. No. So this is a bit of a challenge for me. So.
Yeah, you're usually I'm just buying for the here and now. Yeah. So the challenge is obviously set. What can you do within the 10 seasons with Youth to Gold? Let's have a look. So transfer. In the first season, you have signed a couple of players. Obviously, Frankfurt do have a bit of a budget at the start because they sell Kolo Muani for 77 million and don't really replace him with a lot of like costly transfers. So you've brought in two really smart deals, actually, especially Coyote.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's going to be a good right back. Only 19, so this is for the...
He could literally last you for the 10 years.
Definitely, yeah.
Because obviously the premise of the Youth to Gold is when they get to around about 28, 29, 30 is when you look to cash in and have somebody to replace. It's not a necessity, but it just works really well in that system when you're buying all these young players coming through. So bringing in Coyote straight off the bat for 12 million is a great signing. And then Maxim Decker, a centre-back.
Only 19 again, so...
Yeah, Dutch.
Two good signings, I feel.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right, so tactically in the first season then, you're setting up in a standard 4-3-3. Nice and easy, nothing too complicated. And picking best 11, you can see the players going in here. Now, one thing I do think we need to note in this side is there are going to be players right now who are too old in the team. But as we remember, it's not until the second season where you really have to worry about that and you're not allowed to use those players. First season, we're all good.
Yeah.
And you've got some big first team players, as you can see. The goalkeeper,
I wasn't looking
left
forward to
back.
this at all.
No. That's going to be your hardest challenge of season number 2.
Yeah.
All right, then. Let's have a look at the schedule so far. Then you've had a good start, though. 4-0 against 1816 München. We've got 5-0 against Darmstadt, the first game of the league. Ammonia winning in both legs, which means you do go into the Europa Conference League, and Mainz a 4-2 win in the Bundesliga. So
great start.
Yeah, nobody, obviously, that's like, okay, that's a good win.
Yeah.
They're all teams that you should be beating.
That's right, yeah.
But it's a promising start. So let's simulate season number 1 with Dad's Youth to Gold and see how he gets on. Okay, so first season down in 9th place.
I was disappointed with that, really.
Yeah, that's lower than what they usually are.
Such a good start. So, yeah, I was disappointed. I wanted to be in the top 7 at least to carry on with European football because you need the money.
Yeah, it's very close in the gap between like yourself and 6th, really. Only 4 points between you, really. So one win, you would have been back up to 7th place, and you kind of consider that to be a good season.
I had a poor finish at the end of the season as well, so
yeah,
it didn't help neither.
The shock teams in there for me are Hoffenheim and Augsburg. Usually they're down the bottom half of the table, so that's done you no favours, really. But we also can't see any Frankfurt players in the goals or highest average rating. We've got Nauf, who's in the player of the matches, but that's kind of it, really.
Yeah.
So that needs to change going forward, but as we know, when you go into stage 2 of Youth to Gold, you have to start selling the players.
I'm losing a lot of players now.
It gets a lot harder. So let's have a look at the players that you've got to begin with. Now, goals-wise, you've got Sasha Kaladzic, who's only a lone player. Hugo Ekitike is only a lone player too, as is Donny van der Beek, as is Robin Koch, but Robin Koch is joining on a permanent. Marmouche, who's actually your player, is the guy with 13 goals, 10 assists. So that's quite good. He's only 25, so whether you decide to cash in on him now or keep him around. But Nauf, only 22 years of age, getting a good amount of assists. 11 assists just in the league alone. That's not bad at all.
No.
So far you've got some good players in there that, hey, if you give them game time, they could turn into quality players. But now, as we mentioned, season number 2, you cannot use players 30 or above. which means really from Shqiri onwards, because Shqiri's going to turn 30 during this season.
And both my keepers as well. Look.
Both keepers are in there. Mario Götze is in there. Philip Max is in there. You're starting left back, who's very good, by the way. This is where the youth to go can sting you. But in the long run, you might be benefiting from it.
Yeah.
So, first off, getting rid of them is always a trouble, but then it's replacing them.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And you've got £13 million to do so, which is not a lot.
No.
So it's going to be a tricky summer, really.
Definitely, yeah.
Of course, you're in the DFB Pokal. Let's see how far you got in that competition. Oh, I forgot that you were also in Europe. Quarter-final of the DFB Pokal. Let's take a look at that first. So Leipzig in the quarter-final. Third round, you knocked out St. Pauli. But runners-up in the Europa Conference League. Aston Villa. I mean, obviously, we knew you hadn't won it because you would have had qualification.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
But we just didn't know how close you got. But Aston Villa on pens is a hard one to take.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because their team's very good. Knocked out Lille on along the way. It always seems to be these 4 clubs that are in this competition at the end in that first season. Quarter-final, knocking out AZ Alkmaar. Round of 16, PAOK 8-1 on aggregate as well. Did you play in the knockout playoff round? You didn't, which means in the group stage, you got through nice and easy. 6 games from 6 that you managed to win. So, comfortable.
The teams that say, I should have went through as well, shouldn't I?
Yeah. But yeah, that's a tough one to take, losing out on penalties in the final. Oh, well, okay. There's bigger and better trophies to be won later on in the Youth to Gold. Let's see what you do in the summer. Okay, so season number 2, you raised £34 million worth of players. If we can have a look at this, like Shqiri's left, as we mentioned, one of the players that would have to go. Jakic, Rafael Santos Borre, Mario Götze. No keepers in there, had to stick them down in the reserves.
That was my orders. I just couldn't. I was getting good deals in from them, but they just didn't want to go. They wanted to stay.
Yeah.
I said, no, you can't.
They're expecting to play as well. So instead, you brought in Dennis Seaman. Now, this is a smart move.
I was pleased with this signing, I must admit. I had 18 as well. He's not a bad keeper for 18.
He's good for 18.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, in Youth to Gold, goalkeepers are the hardest position to pick up. So picking one up early and being from the country that you're in is golden. You've done well there. Hopefully he's got a good potential and you can grow into being a quality player. So let's look at the rest of the signings that you've got. So we've got a 19-year-old left winger here, Kielman, who's kind of like a centre defence midfielder or a box-to-box type of midfielder. That's good for $5 million. Robin Koch was obviously the deal that was already done previously, so you can't judge down on that one. But Nelson Viper, I love that signing of Nelson Viper.
Good sign, that's.
What you're doing quite smart is, in the early stages, is signing players who can just get into first-team football.
Yeah.
Because there's no good signing the 16-year-olds now, because if they're nowhere near good enough, it's going to take them 3 years to be good enough. You're signing players who are like 19 or very late 18 so that they are ready to play first-team football within a season. They're as good as what you already had.
Yeah. Well, they're not just quite good enough to get in my team. I was sending them out on loan then.
Yes.
With the they must play.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. You've got a lot of loan players down here who players who've gone out, probably getting first-team football, so that's great. One of the ones that you signed out yourself, Maxim Decker. But yeah, I really like the Nelson Viper deal. That's a really good signing, in my opinion. We've got the backup goalkeeper coming in as well, 19 years old. Nathan Zeze, who I really like as a signing, to be fair. He is quality, a good French centre-back on the game. Always check up Nathan Zeze because he's got good potential on it. You just never know. And then we've got Buonanni, who I absolutely love as kind of the talisman signing for you this summer. Just 19 years of age, but for 19 million, that's actually a bargain.
You know he's just going to get better and better than you.
He is very good on this game as the Algerian. So some fantastic signings. So far, you're really impressing me because you're not used to signing players like this. Tactically then, we've changed slightly. Obviously, we needed to after the season that you had in the league. And we can see if we do best pick 11, surprisingly, Buonanni doesn't go into the lineup, but Nauf was so good last season.
Yeah.
And Coyote is obviously going to play. So you've got good rotation there. Marmouche on the left is fantastic. Gnankam coming in is a bit of a beast. He's really strong and powerful and quick, so that's good. So him and Viper up front could be quite interesting up there. Interestingly, your best ball-winning midfielders out on loan, but you've got enough players in there who can fit in and do the job, I think. This one's going to be intriguing to see how you get on this season, because it could all go tits up, but you've got the players in that I think can give you a chance. So schedule-wise, it's a good start, and you've actually beaten somebody decent.
Yeah.
Now with the 1 goal in 1 minute, which was all that was needed, just for the win over Leipzig. So fantastic stuff.
Start off with the cup game 7-0. You think, like, at least their morale's good as well. Then to go into the first league game. So I was pleased with the 3 league games I've played.
Yeah, defensively looks quite good. You got a few difficult games coming up now, but no European football to distract you, which could be a good thing.
For the youngsters, definitely, I think so.
Give them game time. Let's see what happens. You got Mainz in the second round of the DFB Pokal. Hopefully, you can overcome them. Let's simulate the second season and see how you do. Oh, hello! A Bundesliga win.
I don't know how I've done it. What a team I got, eh?
The youngsters coming in
Here
clutch. From out of nowhere.
Mate, I just couldn't believe it when they went through.
That's unbelievable. I mean, you were up there the whole period, but, dropping down a third at one point, down a second, but you rescued it. Won the league by 2 points.
Get in.
I mean, Bayern Munich have had a bit of a stinker.
That's the thing. When they do have a stinker, you've got to jump in then, haven't you?
Yeah.
Because they don't have a stinker very often, do they?
No. And Leverkusen has done well to get 69 points because they were down in 7th place last season, but you jumped from 9th place to 1st. Now, the 7 losses you did pick up, you can see only one of them was Bayern Munich. 2 of them were at home. The rest were all away fixtures. 5 draws. So you didn't actually beat Bayern Munich.
No.
You didn't need to.
No.
You went on and won 22 games out of your 34 and got the job done. So this tactic has the tactical change definitely worked. But those 2 up front, 29 goals between them.
It's good for this league, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Can't ask much more with that. Marmouche with the most player of the matches as well, so that's fantastic. And Dennis Seaman getting 12 clean sheets, which is actually the second highest in the league, behind Neuer's 15. Solid performance.
Good start for him being a youngster keeper as well, so yeah, I'm pleased with that.
Very solid performance that you've got there. I'm interested to see. So you got the 3rd highest most goals. Fewest conceded was the 3rd as well, so yeah, consistent. That's what we like to see. But what about the DFB Pokal? Can you make it a nice little domestic double? Oh, it's very close. Very close.
Yeah.
Bayern Munich.
Again. There's 2 finals I've lost in already, innit?
Yeah. But, still,
so
far so good. Yeah, so far so good. It's been all right for you. Now, 21 goals from Nankam. Nelson Viper was 17. But already, Nelson Viper's development is looking great.
He's finished in 16 already. Look ideal.
Yeah, that's just what you want. That first season under his belt where he does well and he still gets the development. But we can see it from elsewhere as well. Nauf is having a lovely time on that right-hand side. He's got 15 assists there. Buonani didn't play as much as possibly what you needed. He's maybe a little bit upset about that. But it's hard to argue with the team when they went on and won the lead and go, look, well, to be honest, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
So, transfer budget for next season. These early years are when you need the transfer budget. Later on in the years, you're never going to touch it. I promise you that. When you start the youth to gold system, you might find this out yourself, Dad. We'll see. We've got £36 million right now, which is a good amount to get, 2 possibly first-team youngsters, and then maybe a little gamble in there. That's, the 10 million type of player. But yeah, we'll have to see. Let's have a look to see what you do in the summer of season number 3. Well, you got the most of your extra transfer budget because of the selling of Robin Koch. £25 million there. You lost your cock down. So move on, I guess. He's gone to Saudi Arabia, but it's an extra £25 million in the bank, as well as another £5 million there from Smolcic. And there's a few signings going out for bits of money. But what I'm impressed with, Dad, is the loan deals. I'm enjoying the fact that you're loaning them out for money as well.
Yeah.
Which means they're more likely to play them as well because they're having to pay for them. So the chances are they're not just going to be sat on the bench all the time, which is good. Give them game time. But what I also like to see is the signings coming in. £71 million, and what we got 11 players there. Yeah. So yeah, 11 people there. That's not bad, is it? Nice little guess off the top of my head. Dijkstra, who I did see is already out on loans. That's good. Fullback plays both sides. This is a good signing.
I do, isn't it?
Yeah, good Bundesliga 2 play. He's gone to Dresden. Guess where they are? Bundesliga 2. So, obviously, Dresden Stadium's beautiful.
Oh, lovely, isn't it?
Absolutely beautiful. Almost as nice as Frankfurt's. But yeah, Dijkstra, that's a good signing for them. 19 years old. This one, though, Rooney Bargi.
If you catch this guy young as well, he's going to get good, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Nice. Although you do now have 3 right midfielders.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But, I could sell one for a bit of profit, make a bit more money on 1 or 2 of them, and.
He's learning the youth to go. You see? Ian Subare, who is a River Plate player, plays on the right-hand side or the left-hand side naturally.
18-year-old and he's quick, he's fast and all that.
Yeah, already loaned out to Darmstadt for first-team football. That's what we like to see, so that's good. Then we've got Madi Monome, £3 million. Another guy coming in, 19. Good option there. Kanuzan, I've noticed him a few times. He's really good. Centre attacking midfielder. That's good. Then we've got Grachawas. I don't know how to say his name. I do apologise. But again, these are a lot of signings that I've never seen before. But it's gambles, but it's also players that you could potentially be making a bit of money on. John Melberg, I'm guessing his dad's Olaf Melberg. Did it say that? Olaf Melberg, yeah, it's his father. Yeah, the one who used to play for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
So that's a good signing as well. Hopefully he turns out like his dad, because he was a monster, wasn't he? Yeah. Kelson from AC Milan, another centre-back. A lot of centre-backs coming in.
Well, the defence, I find the defence is quite hard to buy.
Yeah. You either have to go big and get the likes of, your Diamondes or Costas.
Any chance I've seen one that was young, and cheap, I just sort of got them and then whack them out on loan and try and sort of develop them then.
Yeah, take a gamble on them. Bogende is a good striker option there, 19. Fode Sila from Lens, good centre mid, French. There's a lot of a French connection in the Bundesliga, and there's loads of players. He's already out on loan, and then finally we got this guy for £3 million into the youth academy. So yeah, so far. Not bad at all. Okay, so tactically, we're sticking the same.
Yeah.
Obviously, we just won the league. It'd be very silly, and you'd have a lot of people talking and calling you the Tinkerman if you decided to change tactic. Which, by the way, shirt and mugs are coming soon. Best 11 pick, though, we can see a lot of those new players coming in. But, of course, the players that you've been developing the last few seasons are nailing into those positions already off their own back, which is great to see. Okay. Schedule-wise, then, we've dropped points against Werder Bremen, but there's nothing to be panicked about. You did win the Super Cup on penalties against Bayern Munich, so that's always nice to get a trophy over them. And you are through to the next round after a 5-0 win of the DFB Pokal. Good 2 wins in the Bundesliga, scoring 3 goals. Doesn't look like you've had a summer where all of a sudden your tactic doesn't work, which sometimes does happen in Football Manager, and it's absolutely infuriating. Let's have a look, your fixtures for the Champions League, because this is the ultimate goal of winning the Champions League. You've got some players or some clubs that I absolutely love and adore in there, and some clubs that I absolutely despise, including Rennes, or somebody told me it's actually pronounced Ren, and I was like, I don't care. I hate them anyway. Some
a couple
good
of hard
fixtures
games
in
in there already, so yeah.
Yeah. Do you reckon you'll qualify, though?
I wouldn't expect so with such a young side, but I'd like to think that I get into the knockout stages.
There's 4 games in there you should win.
Yeah, it's going to be a close one, isn't it? So
yeah.
I'd like to think I could.
Okay. Right, season number 3 then. Developing players, which is great. Already won the league title, which is a big shock and surprise, but can you follow that up? Let's have a look and simulate the season. Oh, it's a drop down into 5th place.
I'm going to have a second bad season, were they?
No, and they've really come back firing with 79 points. You didn't drop off too much in terms of points, I don't think, because you think this season was 66, last season you won it with 71, so you're only 5 points behind, which isn't bad. That 71 would keep you second place from last season. But yeah, 66 points is still not bad. You're in the Europa League next year, which probably means you haven't won the Champions League.
Yeah.
But
well, definitely,
yeah.
I think that's a better thing for me to be in that one.
Definitely. For now, absolutely. At this point in Eintracht Frankfurt's players' career and stuff. 8 losses that we can see there. Didn't lose to Bayern Munich. Drew against them both times there. But 20 wins out of 34 is nothing to be sad about. Marmouche with the top scorer. Nelson Viper with 14 as well. So they both did really well this season. And Nkunku at the back there managed to get 5 player of the matches. He is your left back that you signed. Well, actually, you didn't sign, but he was there anyway. Dennis Seaman.
17 clean sheets. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah. Can't be too displeased with that. That's really
he must be
fantastic
really good now.
for a 20-year-old. Yeah. Already starting to develop.
Yeah.
The joys of youth to gold when you see the development happening. Oh, it's no better feeling in Football Manager, I'll tell you that. So, other competitions then. Let's see how far you got in the Champions League and if you won the DFB Pokal. Oh, it's a runner-up again.
I can't win the cups, mate, can I?
Cologne. I had suspicions that they won it because they qualified.
I've seen it in the league table there.
But it's just so annoying to get runners up and a 1-0 loss there. Unfortunate. Manchester United knocked you out of the knockout playoff round, so you had to play them in the group and then play them in the knockout playoff round. 8-6.
A couple of good games there.
Wow. Okay, so let's see. So we finished down in 19th place. You lost 3. Bayern Munich,
3 big
Man
teams.
United, Barcelona.
Yeah.
You drew 2. Copenhagen, Besiktas. That's 2 winnable games as well.
Definitely, yeah.
But at least you beat Rennes. And that's all we care about on this channel. People keep going, why'd you hate Rennes so much? Why'd you like them so much? Just a note save. A note save where they were the bearer of bad news for everything that went wrong in every season I did. Okay. It's not a bad season.
To be honest, I'm quite happy with that. 5th place and got into the cup final.
Yeah.
So I'm quite happy with that. And done better than I thought I was going to do in the Champions League. So yeah.
You're betting players in still.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going to have this period. There's always a low point in season 2, 3, 4 in Youth to Gold where you're just waiting for the players that you signed to be better than the players that you've got rid of.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Because then after that, the transitions, they're a little bit more fluid because you're deciding when to get rid of a player and you've already got somebody lined up.
Yeah.
And it's not as too much of a drastic drop-off as it is in the very early stages. Nelson Viper, though, with 31 goals, is absolutely outstanding. 21 there from Marmouche is good. Rooney Baji played 48 games.
Well already.
Yeah, it's 16 goals. The growth on him already is lovely. He's looking like a fantastic right midfielder, straight off the back. So some good campaigns there.
Yep.
Really good campaigns. Transfer budget, 96 million. That is why we love playing the Bundesliga.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
The money is always there in the Bundesliga. Now, in terms of players that you might have to get rid of, we are still okay for now. Marmouche is your oldest player at 27, which means you got at least 2 seasons with him. But it is that 27. I usually say 26 to 30 is when I'm like, if I've got a player ready to jump into their position and there's people who are, clubs that are interested, I'll actively try and sell them.
Yeah.
Because that's when you're going to get your prime cost for them. It means your player underneath them can then jump in that position, develop as early as possible, and you never know, maybe become better players. So might be time to start thinking about that Marmouche one and maybe even Tutor as well.
He scored 21 goals, so that's probably the best time I could get rid of him, really.
Yeah, maybe as you go into the summer, there might be a little bit of interest in him.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out. Let's have a look at what you do in season number 4 summer transfer window. Well, Dad, he's gone.
Yep.
The right time.
I listened to the instructions you gave me about different ages and things you had to look at, start selling them. I was never going to get a better time to sell him after scoring 21 goals, I don't think. So, yeah, adios. Thank you very much.
I mean, £18 million is not a lot of money, but I don't think you ever were going to get that much. He's not that good of a player.
Not brilliant, is he? But
no. He did very well in the, overperformed really in the 2 seasons that you had him. So getting £18 million is £18 million that you can then put towards a couple of youngsters, and you've definitely done that. Now, there's other players who have left the club as well. You've actually sold a couple of the youngsters you've already bought. But that's what happens. You either decide they're never going to be good enough. There's never going to be a route for them.
Yeah, I was looking at them when they come back from being out loan or something like that, and they hadn't improved and all that. And I was just thinking, well, it's a bit of extra money, and I was making a profit on them. And I think that's all you got to look for, really.
Exactly. It's not called youth to no go. A lot of loan signings going out because this is also how you make your money back as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones here where you're loaning them out for like 2.7, 2.3 million pound. If you're signing, I mean, this one here, I think I'd say singing John Melberg. You signed him. Well, you loaned him out there for 2.3 million pound. You signed him last year for 3.5. That's already like 75%, if not more, of his transfer budget paid off with just a 1-season loan.
Yeah.
It's smart moves to make, and this is how you keep making money in the Youth to Gold system. However, you did splash a huge amount on a player, and everybody's going to be going, I have never heard of him before. We're already in New Gen season, in season number 4, and look how good he is. Fantastic. 18 years old.
I know he's 15 million, but when an 18-year-old comes up as good as this, you got to jump on it, really, haven't you?
Yeah, because you... Well, careful with your words. We're going to get ourselves cancelled. When you see an 18-year-old that good, you got to jump on him.
You got to take advantage of that.
No, that's even worse. You're making it worse. You've got to buy them. No, hold on. That's still bad in some countries too. Right, in football. But anyway, you purchased
this guy's good.
the transfer and signed this guy to a footballing contract.
Yeah.
Dominique Hervoit, £50 million. Got a goal already in his 3 appearances for Eintracht Frankfurt in the Bundesliga. It's a lot of money, but it could pay off. And that could be either the best striker in the world for you or somebody you sell for 70 to 80 million pound and you make a profit.
Yeah.
All good thinking. Right. That's fine as long as you don't do too many of them, which, just one every now and then. And especially when you're making a good amount of money on the transfers out, then you're all good. You're never going to be over the money. And I did notice you still got money in your budget left with a good amount of wage budget. So already the youth to goal is kicking in. We got too much more. We got too much money to know what to do with.
Well,
That's
I
a
hate
good sign.
leaving money in the budget, don't I?
Yeah,
and for me,
it's almost like
$35 million there.
It's almost like a crime to you. You're like, I got 4 million. Who can get with that? It's just like you don't have to spend it.
I can guarantee you, I spent another half an hour looking for more players to spend that 35
Of course you did. Thiago Freitas for £14 million from Benfica. Good centre midfielder. He's now 20, but you signed him when he was 18 or 19. Sorry, £10 million to up to 12 in Kriveld there. 19 years old. He's got good as well. 20 now. Ila Kahena is another good player that I've seen. And again, he's born in August, so Dad signed him early enough when he was 19. Cracking signing. Really good. Another striker that you've got to add to your arsenal. And then Montoro, another youngster. Again, fantastic player from the off. Look at that. Looks really good. Developed early. Alvaro Montoro from Velez just for £10 million. How do they fit into your team? Now, you're going to nail in Hervoit into that left-sided position. Yeah, I think that's smart. Definitely. If we do best pick without restriction, he does go in there, but it still just guarantees that he actually plays. Nice to see Buonanni now is on that right-hand side, but I hazard a guess that him and Rooney Bargi are going to be in and out of the squad together and both play, which, hey...
That's a good thing when you've got two players that good fighting for one spot. You just think, well, just let them fight it between them, yeah.
Absolutely. So some subtle changes to the tactic there to allow some players to be nailed in. Let's have a look at the schedule. And it's 4 wins from 4. Yeah. And it's some good wins too. Dortmund 2-1.
That's a good win.
Yeah, cracking win there. And they even scored only in the 94th minute anyway. We're through to the next round of the Cup. It's all looking good. Now, first season in the Europa League. Of course, you've played in the other 2 so far already. Definitely should be qualifying from this.
100%.
I'd say the only team that you might struggle against is Sporting at this point. So, actually, you got to face Lorient. You just paid £50 million for probably their best prospect. Yeah. So, we'll interested to see what they've managed to do with that. Let's have a look and simulate season number 4 of Youth to Gold. Right, we're back up into the top of the table, but we are still some way off. 19 points behind Leipzig, who only lost 1 game all season.
You can't argue with that, though, can you?
No, they're going to be hard to beat if they're managing to have a defensive record like that.
I mean, I'm still disappointed because I only got 64 points. So I expected to get more points than that.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, isn't it? Eight losses in total. Some definitely winnable games in there that you can see. The draws as well. There's a lot of draws against the bigger clubs, but still, there's a couple that you could have probably avoided. Profile, then you got Nelson Viper getting 15. The new guy... Dominique getting 14. Now, some Viper also up there with one of the highest average ratings, but it just seems like Leipzig's Benjamin Sesko has really taken the Bundesliga by storm, getting 26 goals this season. Yeah. That's unbelievable, really. So, okay, that's not too bad, but we need to be up there after winning the league. It's if you haven't won the league yet, you're like, oh, fair place, that's pretty good. I know. The trouble is you won the league in the second season, and everybody now thinks it's a failure. Yeah. Let's have a look at competitions, though. Did you manage to win a trophy either way? You did! And it's a Europa League trophy against Liverpool in the final. I like that a lot, Dad. Very good. 89th minute winner from Nauf. Lovely stuff, beating Liverpool in the final in a game that you pretty much dominated as well, by the looks of it. A lot of clear-cut chances in there for you. Let's have a deep dive into this. Semi-final, you knocked out Rangers, who you actually played in the league phase too. Quarter-final, knocking out Brentford, so they've done well to get into that. Round of 16, Real Sociedad. You haven't had any easy games yet.
No.
Some difficult games in there. Knockout player Frank, you didn't play in, and that's because the league phase, that's what we wanted to see.
Didn't lose a game,
That's what we want to see.
I was above Liverpool there as well, so I deserve to win it, really.
I agree. Now, the draw was against Rangers, the 7 wins. As you can see, the one game where I said you might struggle against Sporting,
4-0.
You slapped them 4-0.
The advantage of playing at home. You've got to win your own games, as I always say.
Exactly, yeah. So that's really good. Fantastic stuff. Got to be happy with that. The cup we can ignore because that was so good. But if you didn't win that, we'd be like...
Especially second round.
Well, yeah, that's very poor. So there's another trophy to add to the trophy cabinet in the 4th season. Nelson Viper with 28 goals. He's already wanted, I can see there, by a couple of clubs in Germany. But let's see if his development, like we can see again, slight bits of development as we go through. Dominique getting better and better. They need the game time. They're getting it. Loaning out Buonani is a good idea, actually. He managed to get 12 goals in 32 appearances with 2 assists. He is requesting a transfer. This is obviously whether you want to just play him next season and see what happens, really. 14 assists from Rooney Baji, though. Lovely stuff. He's done well. Nice. Well, actually, he's dropped off a little bit in some of these attributes, which is quite weird. Montoro, who you just brought in last season, seems to be playing quite a lot off the left. He's done quite well, too. So, some good signs. Some very good signs. Coyote, obviously your first signing, getting 17 assists at right back. Looks absolutely phenomenal now.
He's good now, isn't he?
Really good stuff. Let's have a look. Transfer budget, £75 million to spend in the summer. Again, whether you manage to is a different story. Age-wise, 27 years old is Tuta, so you wouldn't even have to sell anybody if you didn't want to, but if I know you, there'll be some casualties. All right. Let's have a look then. Who leaves the club and who joins it in season number 5 summer? On the outset, season number 5, we've got Nauf leaving the club for 20 million. We've got a couple of players there going out for 4 million. Again, we got a lot of youngsters going out on loan for some cash, including a couple that we've signed this summer too. One of them being Van Boxtel, who I can see there, who joined the club for £26 million. That's a good goalkeeper. We mentioned earlier, goalkeepers are very hard to get. Now, what I will say is obviously his date of birth is in June. Of course, the transfer doesn't go through till July, but when you sign them, as long as you're confirming the deal before they turn 20, then it's absolutely fine. So obviously with the transfer window not open, or you can't sign a player or they don't join until the 1st of July, that's absolutely gravy. That's fine. Then we've got Radicic from Anderlecht, who joins, who's a Serbian left back who can play all the way up the left-hand side. He's got some good physicals. He's got some good physicals, and his technicals are getting a little bit better as well. But, I mean, a 4-star leading Bundesliga player, according to your coaches, at 18. Yeah,
I like
huge.
It. Yeah.
You've also given him the number 1 shirt, which is going to trigger a lot of people in the comments, and I love it. Some people are like, oh, no, my OCD. That's going to really... if you suffer from OCD where you need players to be in the correct numbers, let me know down in the comments section. And by the way, if you are enjoying this video, make sure you smash the subscribe button. We are en route to 150k now.
We've got to get there.
We need you to join us on this journey and help us get there. So, Van Nam, who's a cracking name for an English player.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I was expecting him to be Dutch. Never mind. From Arsenal, though, plays on the right hand. Very similar to the last one where he plays all the way up. The right-hand side instead of the left. £36 million there. Good utility player, or squad player as you like to call them. Casquera is £5 million, a little bit cheaper. But these are the deals that are gambles, but you can make so much money out of them if they turn out to be good.
Players as well. You get them a little bit cheaper, don't you?
Yeah. So plays naturally as a centre-back, can also play centre midfield if you need him to. So it'll be interesting to see how he develops. And Dubsky as well from Bayer Leverkusen, who is a German CDM. I like that. He's a good signing as well, I actually think. 6'3", good with both feet. Good passing. Yeah, he's a good player. In the under-19s for now, but of course, you don't know where he's going to end up. Now, okay, tactically, have we changed? We have.
Yeah.
We've got Freitas in that midfield middle there, with 21 years old, trying to give him a little bit of game time to see what happens. And we've got Kelson at centre-back there. Very good, actually. He looks quite good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But going for the 4-1-5 kind of attackers there, which I do enjoy playing every now and then. It's very attacking, but it just seems to work.
Like I say, I'm trying to play more attacking football to try and have a go at it again now.
Yeah. Try and get that league title back. The best 11 pick, we've got Viper and Hervoit up
Never
front.
any doubt there, is there?
No. God, look how good he's already getting. Rooney Baji on the right, Montoro on the left. Some interesting players. Obviously, you've put in the right centre-back in there because of the likes of Tuta, who, yeah, as we mentioned, we don't need to give Tuta game time.
No.
We're happy for him to just sit on the bench.
Sell him next season.
Exactly. Your time is up.
Yeah.
numbered. Get ready to leave. Schedule then. Let's have a look. We got one loss in the UEFA Super Cup, but
I'll take
against PSG.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter. Draw to Dortmund. Again, that's fine.
Away from home.
3-0 against Wolfsburg.
Rooney
and
Badgie's
Bochum.
banging them in for me, though.
He is. He's got a goal in every game there in the Bundesliga so far. Happy days. Right. Champions League fixtures. We're back in the Champions League. That's good. Money's going to be there then. Got Real Madrid, Newcastle. Some difficult ones. PSG again.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Roma, Sevilla,
it's one of them,
Olympiacos, possibly even Ajax and Anderlecht.
If I can win my own games, I stand a good chance.
Yeah. But even then.
Those 5 games in the middle, 4 games in the middle, I've got to do it, haven't I?
Yeah, I like your chances down here, to be honest. We'll have to see. All right, season number 5 then. Things, again, very interesting now in the Youth to Go. We're seeing a lot of new gens come through the door. Let's see how they do. There we go. Down in 5th place. 65 points.
Bit disappointed again, still in the 60s. I want to get into the 70s now.
Yeah.
High 70s, really.
Leipzig getting back-to-back as well in the league. We got 7 losses, Dad. We got Bayern Munich in there twice, Leverkusen, Leipzig twice as well. Those are results that you need to turn around, and that will help you get back up the league table.
I should have won as well, the draw game.
Yeah, the 8 draws.
Yeah.
That's poor. Let's see, though. Let's see. We've got Nelson Viper, 25 goals.
He's done the business for me.
Yeah, he's doing his job.
Yeah.
It's maybe elsewhere that isn't. I mean, Leipzig's players are dominating here. We've got 4 just in the average rating alone.
I mean, my keeper's there as well for clean sheets. Third
highest.
Well, the keeper doing it, the striker doing it.
Just
not
the
getting the results, yeah.
Okay. Competitions, though. Maybe there's a cup win that we can celebrate this season after a couple of runners-up in that cup. No. Early exit to Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
And a quarter-final exit of the Champions League to Manchester City, which...
2 big teams done me.
Yeah, that's... You don't have to be worried about that, really,
No.
do you? The third round against Bayern Munich, it's annoying to get them that early on in the competition.
Yeah.
It's just typical, isn't
At their
it, really?
ground as well, losing 2-1.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
They went on and won it.
Yeah.
Quarter-final against Manchester City, though. 5-3 on aggregate. But we got there, that's the main thing. In the round of 16, knocking out Arsenal on penalties.
Get in.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big Arsenal fan, aren't you? So it's nice when you knock out your own club. Benfica, another club you actually love.
I do like Benfica.
Yeah, to be fair. So 5-3 in the knockout playoff round, which meant in the league phase, 22nd position.
Yeah, just scrape through, didn't I?
5 losses. Real Madrid's in there again. You got PSG, loss, Newcastle,
the only game I would say I'm
Ajax.
disappointed with there really is probably the Ajax game.
Yeah, getting stuffed 2-0.
Yeah.
The 3 wins, though. Anderlecht Olympiacos 6-0, by the way, and then Sevilla 1-0. That's good. Very, very nice stuff. Players then. Let's see. I want to see a bit of development going on now. So we've got Nelson Viper with 32 goals.
We know
really
he's
good
getting
development.
better.
We know he's getting good. Yeah, as you say. 18 here from Dominique. He's definitely getting there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's not scoring as many as Nelson Viper.
That's what I just couldn't understand, because you can see he's good enough and he's getting there.
He's a better player.
Yeah.
And he's playing in the exact same player role. So we're not sure what's happening there, why he's not scoring the extra, 14 goals that Nelson Viper is. Thiago Freitas, you nailed him into the position.
Yeah,
right thing to do.
Yeah.
Look at the growth and development on that, and it just goes to show how good game time really is. George, he didn't play that much last season. He did this season. And he's got a good amount of return with 10 goals and 5 assists from only 16 starts. Rooney Badgie dropped off a little bit, isn't he?
Bit concerning that was.
Dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, he played 44 games, so you can't say it wasn't because I wasn't playing him.
Yeah. Alvaro Montoro, still done well as well. Buonanni, who was back in the club, developed. He's actually transfer listed because he wants to leave. I would be thinking, can I keep him?
Yeah.
Can I keep him and give him more game time and see if he can be better than Badgie next season? Or there's another right midfielder that you signed recently as well, wasn't there? So that could be an option. Kielsen, after his season, nailed into that right centre-back position. Not a lot of development there.
No.
Also didn't play that well either. But the left-back that you signed, good enough.
Good, yeah.
Good enough. You got 6 assists. Hopefully you can get more next season. Give him a bit of a chance, but there we go. And Dennis Seaman's the other one I wanted to check. Look at that.
Still getting good, isn't he?
That's why you get the goalkeeper early
Yeah.
when you play him, because he's 22 and he's a fantastic keeper now. So that's good to see. Okay, the transfer budget for next season, £96 million. That Champions League money, the Bundesliga money, all helping out there. But I don't know if you're going to be able to spend all of it, because there's probably going to be some players leaving. We've got how many players getting close to 30? Tuturn and Kunku there who are close.
And there's a lot of money involved in them as well.
And there's clubs wanting them.
Yeah.
Probably it's time to say goodbye. We'll have to see. All right, let's see what you do at the start of season number 6. Well, we have well and truly gone into stage 3 of Youth to Gold now, and this is when you basically got your first team in place. A lot of them are all youngsters that you bought in stage 1 and 2. And now you're just kind of filling your youth squad.
Yeah.
And you can see that because out of the £83 million you spent, the highest cost was just £24 million. And that tends to happen. You tend to really only buy one superstar and a lot of gambles, I always say, but sometimes you know they're not going to be a gamble because you're definitely going to make your profit back. But on the outs, £18 million, Buonanni has left the club. It's a loss on him.
Yeah.
That's a shame because I think if you did give him the game time and maybe didn't buy Rooney Baji, then you're looking at a much better player. But that's sometimes how it works out. You sign him for £20 million. It's not too much of a loss. We're all good. We're fine. Cut your losses there. So let's look at the players that you've brought in then, or at least the most expensive one. This guy was a lot of money, Dad. £24 million. What's the reason why you spent that much on him?
I think it was because he could play in 3 good positions, really. And I was looking at him and thinking, well, his physicals are quite good and his mentals are good as well. So he just needed to be technically. So I thought, get him in and then get him out on loan or something like that, or even put him into the youth side and try and work on it, really.
Okay, so Nicholas Brongs comes in, £24 million. Then we got Alex Flater, who is a centre-back. Looks some good mentals in there as well. Same as that guy on the left side. So kind of you want to have at least 2 or 3 for each position to begin with, and then just build your youth squad from there. Yeah. He looks quite good as well. There's some good players coming in here for very cheap costs that hopefully you can flip for more money going forward. So, all right, we'll see how many of these actually make it into the first team. Now, tactically, we have changed it. I like this tactic. A nice little 3 across the midfield, 4-3-3, but with wide positions there. Let's have a look at the best 11 pick of it. So Freitas now drops into that centre mid. Rooney Baji is still available on that right-hand side. Radicic actually goes to the winger role. So you've got a good left-back and a good left midfielder.
Is better as a winger, so
yeah,
as he was than a left-back. So I just brought Brown back into the team and let Radicic do what he wants to do.
Yeah. Flater comes into the lineup as a starting centre-back.
Yeah.
So that's good. Now Nelson Vipers up there with obviously the guy that was with him previously, Dominique. But then we've also got Ilenik Hainer. George.
3 good strikers, isn't it?
3 good strikers in there. Do you have backups? Yeah, you've got a couple of backups, to be fair.
Yeah.
That should be all right. So, interesting. One thing I am sad to see is this guy didn't get any more game time. I was interested and intrigued because I've never signed him before, but a couple of times I've seen how good he can get.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, he's a left-footed centre-back, and you've got Pacho, who's only just 26 in season 6, and he's just so good. So he's never going to get in, unfortunately. No. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately, for Zeze. But there we go. Now, good tactic, in my opinion. Looks all right. How has it been faring? Not bad at all. No. 8-2 to kick things off. 2-1 against Mainz. 4-0 against Hoffenheim.
I haven't played anybody, though, have I?
No, that's the trouble.
You can't test it, really, can you?
Back in Europa League.
Yes.
Let's have a look. So we've got Milan and Young Boys, Fiorentina, Maccabi Haifa, Strada. Where's Strada from? I don't recognise them. Slovakia. Then we got Lille, Göteborg, and PAOK at the end there.
Should qualify.
Definitely should. Okay, let's find out. Season number 6. See what happens. Oh, yes, we're back. Winning league titles.
To the 80s, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, back where Frankfurt deserve to be.
Only lost 2 games.
That's an unbelievable season. 80 points, losing 2 games. Dino Dresden being one of them.
None of the big teams.
No, Freiburg being the other. That was your biggest weakness last, and even in that, only 2 of them were the big teams.
Yeah.
That was your biggest weakness in previous seasons.
Yeah,
you weren't taking enough points off of the top teams.
Yeah.
This tactic seems to have done the job for you there.
I do like playing free up front, though, don't I? So.
Yeah, you were the joint top scorers of the league with Leipzig, but you conceded 3 less than them. How weird that there's only 3 goals between it, but there's 10 points between it. So it's game management, I guess, in the end of the day. But let's see. You got Sesko up there with 25, Openda. None of your boys are in there, though. But they are.
3 strikers.
You did, yeah.
It
spread it out a little bit. If we go and have a look at this, you can see they're down in 7th, 10th, and 11th there, getting in their teams, each of them. So that's not too bad at all. Seaman getting 11 clean sheets as well. You got a couple of them in the player of the matches. Great season.
Yeah.
The second time Eintracht Frankfurt are Bundesliga champions so far under the Youth to Go regime, but was it a phenomenal season? Let's find out. Yes, finally we have a domestic double and hands on the DFB Pokal emphatically too, 4-0. Great win. 1-0 against Leverkusen. Quarter-final knocking out Schalke. That is a great campaign, Dad. Domestically dominant. Quarter-final against Manchester United.
Yeah, so you come up against one of the big guns, so
yeah,
it goes one way or the other, doesn't it? I mean, looking at that, I wouldn't be surprised if Man United went on and won it then.
Yeah, they did. They went on and they beat Ajax in the final 3-0. Probably because they signed all their players.
Yeah.
Which I'm not being grumbled about. I'm big fans. So round of 16 then, you knocked out Bodo Glimt 6-1 on aggregate. Knockout player for round you didn't play in, and that's because the league phase, you finished down in 7th place. Losing 1 against Fiorentina, drawing 2, Lille and AC Milan.
2 away games.
Not bad. Yeah. The 5 wins you did win were solid.
As well, don't I?
Only conceding 1 goal. Yeah. Can't be mad. Cannot be mad at all. So squad-wise then, goals all came from Nelson Viper, 33 there. So development-wise, I feel like he's hitting his peak, you know.
Yeah.
It looks like it. We haven't seen development in the last couple of seasons, but he's still scoring all the goals. And yet Dominique...
He's just getting better and better. He's finishing 18 now. Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
I mean, now that he's 21, I can say it. I'm feeling horny looking at him. Look at that. It's unbelievable.
Yes.
A phenomenal player, but only getting 21 goals.
Yes.
Where's all the goals coming from? He is wanted as well. You're going to have to start batting away some of the big boys.
Teams that want him as well. That's the worst thing about it, isn't it?
Yeah. George has done well. 20 goals and 11 assists.
I was pleased with him.
He needed some game time. You give it to him. He repaid you. Rooney Baji, 20 assists. Finally, we're seeing a good season there. Growth-wise, maybe not so much, but hey, there we go. Thiago Freitas in that midfield by himself.
Had a good season.
Solid.
Yes.
Solid. Look how good those physicals are as well. Beautiful to see. So some good signings that were coming in, and you're making the use out of them, I think. Even like off the bench, like this guy's playing a lot of games off the bench and done quite proud, really. 8 goals, 8 assists. Like that's decent as well, and it's actually started 22 games as well. So yeah, I mean, some good performances, some good amount of growth that's going on here, and potential is still there for a lot of these players to get better and better, which is going to be interesting to see who starts to shine in this part of Youth to Gold, who starts showing you, no, I need to be playing football.
I mean, Rajdik had 17 assists and 7 goals as well. So.
Yeah, on that left-hand side. I mean, he cemented his spot ages ago, didn't he?
Moving him forward, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, well, I questioned the £25 million to begin with. I was like, well, that was a bit risky, but now it's paid off. Like, that is huge, really. Okay, and he gets the #1 shirt for a reason.
Yeah.
Transfer budget next season, £60 million. Not as much, but again, as we established, the further you go in, the less money you actually probably need, and the more money you start to make.
I'm still not using all the money, am I? So.
No, because there might be some players who are about to leave the club. We've got a couple of 28-year-olds. William Pacho, who we mentioned, is 27. Might be time to think about it if you've got a replacement or you're already lining up that replacement. That's the beauty of Youth to Go. So let's see, season number 7, who comes through the door. Well, it was inevitable it was going to happen. Dominique has left the club.
I'm not turning that type of money down.
No. Left the club for £102 million, so double what you paid for him.
Yeah.
Again, that's where this system really works. I mean,
I didn't want to.
Gripped and held on to him, then he could be the best striker on the planet, but
100 million's 100 million, isn't it?
Doubled your cash. For a player that not necessarily was lighting the world up.
No, he wasn't.
If he's scoring 35 goals, I'm going, I'm bored, probably wouldn't have done that,
not
especially when he's that age.
Yeah, because I could have kept him for the next 10 years, really, couldn't I? So.
Yeah, but cash in early, £102 million, I can respect that, I can understand it. Now, bringing players in, you spent £203 million, because there was another £47 million that left the club, including a couple of players that we've been giving game time to, and then cashing in early, which I don't mind either. Mateo Lovren being another one there that's gone out for £11 million. So some of these players that have come in must have cost a lot of money. And we've got this man here, £66 million, a great centre-back. Lacks a bit of pace, maybe a little bit of composure, but he's only 19. It's hard to get players away from Athletic Bilbao. So £66 million might seem a bit of an overprice for now, but hey, we'll see how much he develops at 19. You can play naturally in centre-back, but also play across the back three. Lewis Herbert for £49 million is another centre-back.
Yeah.
£100 million on centre-backs here, Dad. 18 years old, youngster.
2 good youngsters, though, weren't they, really?
Mustafa Sila, £27 million. Now, is this a replacement for the striker?
Yeah.
There we go.
He's already good, isn't he?
Yeah, he's good.
19.
He's not as good as, obviously,
no,
Dominic.
We're going to
but
that good, are we?
No, you're going to struggle to find somebody that good.
He could be just as good as when he started.
Exactly, yeah. He's 3-star now, 5-star potential. There's potential for him to be good. Got 10 goals last season. Got 2 goals for you. Okay. You got Thomas Lebreton, £11 million. I've missed a couple here, I know. Centre back, there's one that I've missed from Shakhtar. Plays centre attacking midfielder. I quite like him as well, actually. He needs a bit game time, though. I think with game time, he would be class. But yeah, he needs a little bit of game time. Gregory Girard coming in. Again, probably game time to determine what position he was. Centre mid, that definitely looks like a centre mid to me. But development-wise, they all need a bit. They all need a bit of game time. They all need a bit of love. And see where they come out after a season or two.
I think when you get that type of money, though, you just got to take a chance on them.
Got to take the gambles.
Yeah.
That's it. When you're spending like 6.5 or I always say like less than £15 million to me when you're at this point of Football Manager I'm absolutely fine with that. So when I'm going a bit above that, I'm like, okay, do I think he's going to be good? What's telling me he's good? Is it going to be a risk? And then obviously when you're spending like the likes of 66 million, you've got to be thinking, no, that is going to be a good player.
Yeah.
Okay. So, tactically, we are keeping exactly as we was last season.
Just won the league, I
Had to. You pick the best 11, you can see a lot of the players are staying the same. There's a couple of changes in there. Well, actually, just a striker change, really. Yeah. George has gone left, and then Sila's come into there. The rest of the team was exactly the same as last season. So you like to think they could still win the league this year too.
Yeah.
Good start to the season, though. Super Cup was a loss against Bayern Munich, but that's fine. 11-1 win in the Cup. 2-1 against Dortmund and a 6-0 against Hamburg's decent. 1-1 against Leipzig.
That's a good result at their place as well, though.
Yeah. Champions League. Manchester United's in there again. You keep facing them recently. You've got Juve, Milan, a couple of difficult ones there. Brighton's in the Champions League, so they've done well.
But looking at that, I feel confident to go for it.
Should go through.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's an easy group to be in, actually.
Well, you've lost your best player in terms of ability. He might not have been scoring all of the goals, but will he still be a loss? Let's find out. Well, I don't think he was too much of a loss because that's not much of a drop-off. It's just an unlucky season.
And lost by a point and
lost the last game of the season to Dortmund by the looks of it.
Yeah, you come third.
But that is tough.
So disappointed.
That is tough. Statistically, you had the most goals that season by a lot. Fewest conceded was probably where you went wrong. You had conceded double or over double the amount of Bayern Munich, which, I mean, them when you conceding 20 goals is pretty special anyway. Yeah. There's 3 clubs there that's conceded less of games they actually played, which you don't see very often. But yeah, I mean, Nelson Viper getting the second highest amount of goals. Gil is actually up there with 13. He is. Yeah. Juan Pablo Gil. Not bad. I'm guessing a lot of those appearances were off the bench as well. 19 starts, 11 off the bench, getting 13 goals. So that's interesting. He was a £4 million signing. Nelson Viper and George up there with the highest average rating, but we're not seeing Dennis Seaman there.
No, it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he is such a good keeper as well.
Competitions then. Let's see. Was there any other silverware this season up for grabs? Did you win it? Oh! Boom! All the way and won the champ. I don't care that he didn't win the league this season.
I do, because it was a hell of a treble that would have been.
That would have been a treble, to be fair, yeah.
Mighty.
But on penalties against Bayern Munich themselves.
They've done me in the league, so I've done them in the Champions League.
That's an early Champions League win. Very early Champions League win.
Coming against German side as well. So,
7 seasons in. Lovely stuff. Let's focus on the DFB Pokal for now. So we beat Leverkusen in the final after extra time. Leipzig in the semi-final. Deserved to win it, yeah. Quarter-final against Schalke. So that's back-to-back in the DFB Pokal. Now, let's have a look at this. So the league phase. Didn't even finish in the top 8. Yeah, lost 3 games. Those 3 difficult ones we mentioned. 1-5, battered Brighton 5-0. Went into the knockout playoff round, eliminating Dinamo Zagreb. Round of 16 was Inter Milan. So you're beating those clubs now. Quarter-final, knocking out Dortmund.
German side again.
So all the German sides are not looking forward to facing you. Semi-final, beating PSG. And then into the final, Bayern Munich on penalties in that final as well. So they actually, did you equalise late? No, you went 3-2 up Musiala equalised in the 86th minute. It then went to penalties. Rooney Bargi missed one, but Oscar Glucensano missed for Bayern Munich. And Eintracht Frankfurt are your Champions League winners. Fantastic stuff in the youth to gold. Well, that's lovely. Now, 40 goals for Nelson Viper.
He's just banging him for fun, isn't he?
You can't, like, I can't believe that player is scoring that amount of goals. It's just weird to me. Sila's having a good time as well. That's a good amount of development in one season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now that he's 20, George is doing well as well. Yeah, the 4 strikers there are really shining through. You've even got Giancomo Nicoletti, who's doing all right. And he's got 14 goals in 25 starts.
Certainly shared it around, didn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Radicic's looking better and better each season. So, performance-wise, we're getting some good names in here now. Even a couple of these youngsters that you just signed recently, they're only picking up a small amount of game time, but they are getting better. And that's the most important thing. So, be interesting to see how this happens. And remember, you can get the Save Game file if you go on to Patreon or channel members page on the £5 tier. We'll be giving out the Save Game file after the 10 seasons. We still got a few seasons left yet, despite Dad already winning the Champions League. Now, transfer budget-wise, £87 million. Good transfer budget. Let's see what happens in the summer. What a transfer window we had, Dad.
Well,
£224 million out.
I looked at it. I thought, I've just won the league again. I've won the Champions League. I want to sell a lot of my good players and then do another rebuild and see how I get on again and try it again. So that's what I've done.
I respect it. Now, a lot of players going out that you've only just signed as well. Even Dennis Seaman going.
Yeah. Well, I'd already got a good goalkeeper in.
Yeah.
Reserve keeper, so getting good money for that one.
Now, this is basically stage 4.
Yeah.
Where you then get rid of those players again and you start building a second side. Basically what Sir Alex Ferguson used to do every sort of like 7 or 8 years, wasn't it? He started building a new team.
I got 224 million in and I'm only spending 76 million.
Yeah, because the transfer budget you still got is 218 million or 200 million with a good wage budget. Huge.
It killed me.
Yeah. So there was one guy that came in here, Tada, who I think we missed off from last season, but he looks really good and already a high value considering he only came in for £5 million. The guys that you brought in, the most expensive one was £22 million. Yeah. Again, a good right back, but nothing special. We got Jude Singleton from Liverpool. Good striker there, £20 million from Northern Ireland. You got Reynaud, £15 million. Good striker that you've loaned out straight away to Hertha for some first team football. Monterrey, signing from Monterrey, Rodriguez, £8 million. He's a good striker, player.
Yeah.
Really good player already, straight off the bat. He's got 2 and 2 for you. He scored 11 goals last season for Monterrey. River Plate, always good one for picking up the nice cheap ones under £10 million. An £8 million signing, a good centre midfielder. And then we've got Juan Riquelme from Cerro Porteño, £2.9 million. Good left winger.
Yeah.
I like that because that's the position that you have been playing recently.
Yeah.
Unless you've decided to change tactic after winning the Champions League.
Look at his value already, look.
His value is huge. From Paraguay, you picked him up for £2 million.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah, this is why I love this style of play in Football Manager. So let's see then, tactically, you're sticking with it.
Yeah, I actually don't
But
know,
a
really.
little bit of a change in the midfield there. You got a player called Herbert who you've nailed into that left-sided centre-back position, trying to give him some game time, which I do appreciate. And then best 11 pick we can see. So Gil is now up front, as we mentioned him last season with Viper. Bargi is in there, Freitas, Riquelme. So it's a change of tactic from what it was last season, which won the Champions League. But with the players going out, you know, you can't guarantee the players to come in.
Still a good team, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So schedule then. We've got Newcastle loss in the Super Cup, Bayern Munich loss in the Super Cup, but in the competitive league where it matters, we've got 4 wins from 4 so far. Solid start.
Yeah.
Champions League then. As the defender of the Champions League, you've got Real Madrid and Sporting in the first couple of games. PSG and Juve's in there as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'd be disappointed if I don't qualify still.
Yeah. Reckon I think quarter-final, semi-final?
Yeah, I'd like to think so, yeah. Definitely quarters, yeah.
All right. Well, let's see what happens then, as we've already won the Champions League, season number 8. Can we do it again? Well, we haven't won the league, and I'm concerned with the points.
Worst points I've had in it so far. But like I said, it was a rebuild starting again. I mean, I had a poor finish as well, but
still
finishing 3rd.
Yeah.
Keeps me in the Champions League, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah. definitely. I mean, Munich had a great season. They've only lost 1 and drew 3. That's the highest points tally that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
That's usually what the points tally is like for a good Premier League side who play 4 more games than Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So for them to get that in just 34 games is astonishing, really. I don't think even if you had a good season, you would have won the league.
No.
But it is a drop-off. And we have to acknowledge that you're quite lucky to still finish in the top 4. Nelson Viper with 20 goals. Then it's looking quite vacant around the other statistics outside of Nelson Viper. But there we go. The man just keeps on doing it for you. Competitions. Did you manage to pick up another trophy? It's a no. It's a runners-up, though, in the DFB Pokal. You did get to the final.
Yeah.
But that Bayern Munich side with a domestic double.
They were just too good this season.
Quarter-final of the Champions League by Liverpool, which is where Bayern Munich was eliminated, so they didn't win the treble.
I'm not disappointed with that. So
No.
Got where I thought I deserved to get to.
Round of 16, knocking out Real Sociedad. Knockout playoff round, you knocked out Juventus, which meant in the league phase, you finished in the top 24. 13th place, losing 3 to Real Madrid, PSG, and Real Sociedad. 1 draw against Lyon. 4 wins against Celtic, Juve, Prague, and Sporting. So goals then. Where's this? I mean, we got a new player there, which I hasn't been in the first team. He's kind of come into his own and turned into that's your best player now. Yeah. So again, that's the one that you spent £66 million on. So it's justified. You just needed the game time.
Yeah.
Juan Riquelme. Look at that. From left midfield. The development already. Over £100 million from 2.9 million. And he only played 25 games, maybe because of injury or suspension and whatever. Ta-da! Managed to get a nice little bit of growth in there too. That was a bit of a surprise for everybody, pun intended. But goals-wise, Nelson Viper is still up there.
Yeah.
28, and he's still not looking great, but he is transfer listed.
I think it's becoming the time to sort of look to see if anybody's interested in him.
I mean, he's 26. It is prime time to cash in and get the money for him. So we will have to see. But yeah, so a lot of development this season, which is good to see. And the players that obviously you had to get rid of, you needed players to step up into the roles. Maybe it's all about next season.
I was pleased with Radic as well because he played 40 games and I put him in left back.
Yeah.
To allow the other players. So for him to stay where he was, I was quite pleased with him.
He is transfer listed though. Are you trying to cash in?
100 million, mate. 100 million.
All right. So let's see now. You need next season then for a lot of these players to step up and help these lot who have had the good growth to get back to where you were. But that is what rebuilds happen inside of a rebuild or inside of Youth to Gold. You will have drop-off seasons unless you just have an unbelievable squad, which is very hard to build. So transfer budget. £226 million. I don't think you'll struggle for money this summer. No. Let's see who you bring in. Well, the first signing of Youth to Gold has finally been sold.
Yeah.
£24 million. So you didn't get a profit out of it. Well, you did actually. 12 million for 24. So you actually doubled your money. But I expected a lot more from Coyote.
7 good seasons out of him though as well.
7 good seasons, absolutely. Yeah. It was the right age to sell. There's players already coming through that you could put in that position. Kilson as well for £20 million. You sold after signing him for, where was it, £9 million there. So another good amount of money coming in that you've managed to get out of them. But £85 million coming in. Let's have a look at it then. So we got Fidel coming in at centre back there. Ranieri, who seems to be a good centre midfielder, quite all round there, 18 years old. Caballos, another left back coming in. And then 3 players from Bayern Munich. So we've got a right back there, Michael Thompson, who is a striker. Michael Frenger, who is a centre midfield. So no standouts, I would say, but you didn't splash the cash on any of them there, really. Tactically, you've gone back to the 3 up front, gone back to what you were last season.
Yeah. I mean, I like playing 3 up front, more attacking, have a go at them. And if you score the amount of goals that I know my strikers can, you got a chance of winning.
Okay, you got the Spanish guy nailed in at left, but I don't think you had to worry about that too much.
No,
surely you would have played.
Space, I think.
You would have just switched to the right and Zeze would have come in. But hey, yeah, can't complain with that. Team's looking quite good, though. How have they been performing? Well, it's been a good start to the season. Beating Leipzig 4-0. 14-1 in the first game there. It's a close one. Jose Luis Rodriguez scoring a lot of goals from the Mexican player that we've seen. Didn't get a lot of game time last season, but in the Cups he's been performing. 2-1 and a 7-1. So, Champions League. After that start, Who have we got? We got Newcastle, Barcelona, and Manchester City in your first 3.
Get them 3 out of the way, and I'm quite confident of winning the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sort of.
Possibly.
Really.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see if it happens. Can you get back to winning ways in cup competitions? Find out. Well, we're not back to winning the league, but we're a lot closer.
Yeah.
5 points this time behind Bundesliga champions Bayern Munich, who only lost 3 and scored 100 goals and only conceded 31. I think your trouble in this is Bayern Munich have had a bit of a renaissance.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
And come back flying.
Still
4 losses. Yeah, I mean, the loss to them obviously would have won you the league.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing you really need to be concerned about. Can we beat them when we play them? That's the most important thing, really. Most goals, they did get the most goals, but you were only 1 behind them.
So it's good, yeah.
Yeah, fewest conceded down in joint 4th. Profile of the league, though, you have 2 top scorers in Nelson Viper and Gil. Gil has started developing again a little bit more. Nelson Viper looks exactly the same as what he did when you bought him. Still on the transfer list, still banging in 27 goals. Unbelievable. But Van Boxtel, of course, who we replaced Dennis Seaman with in goal, is looking great. Yeah, absolutely. So he's up there with 11 clean sheets this season. Got to be happy with that. Can we win a cup competition? We know league title in the last couple of years. We've done it again. And against Bayern Munich in the final again. Both times? No. Cologne in the DFB Pokal. Did you knock them out along the way? You knocked them out in the semi-final instead. What? How are you doing this, by the way? So Nelson Viper, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Nelson Viper, yeah.
Of the challenge, isn't it?
I mean, the guy who scored against you was the player that you just sold to him.
Yeah.
From the Senegalese player that you got a lot of money for. So, I mean, that's quite funny how you sold him, and then, he's scoring against you in the Champions League final to equalise, and you're like, oh. But then Nelson's like, don't worry, boss. I've got this.
Get in.
Boss, if I win this, will you take me off the transfer list?
Yeah.
No. All right. Fair enough. But there we go. Let's have a look at the Champions League campaign then, and see how you got there, because that's 2 Champions Leagues in 3 years. It was a 14th place finish in the league phase. So you lost 2 games to Monaco and Newcastle, drew 2 to Milan and Man City, won 4, beating Barcelona at home. Then we went into the knockout playoff round, beating Dynamo Kiev. Round of 16, Red Bull Salzburg. Quarter-final stage was when you got Arsenal, so that's when the game started being a little bit more tricky, your favourite club. And then semi-final, knocking out Real Madrid.
7-5 on aggregate.
Yeah, huge victory that one is. Very good. Nelson Viper was also the top scorer of the Champions League.
What a lad that boy is.
Guy just keeps breaking records, and yet he can't get himself off the transfer list. Juan Riquelme is now the best player at your club.
Yeah.
Holy God. Reminder of everybody, it's just £2 million he costs. He only played 20 games. Has he got like a bad injury or something like that? He's picking up a fair amount, but not too bad. But what a talent. Nelson Viper got 46 goals in 53 appearances. 29 was Juan Pablo Gil. Reynaud also got 20. So has he developed a little bit as well? Oh, yes, he has.
Dear.
Really good. And he's been playing in the seconds as well. Thiago Freitas, still developing well. Still really good. There's Juan Riquelme. Van Nam is getting better as well on that right-hand side. Lewis Herbert is getting better as well. Look at all the growth that we're seeing here. A lot of players now turning into absolute phenomenons. And that's good to see. But we've got 1 season left and £198 million in the bank. Let's see what Dad does in the final season of Youth to Go. Well, Dad, you sold a player to Arsenal.
Yeah.
Radicic's gone.
I'm quite happy with that 85 million. It must be a good profit on him. I can't remember what I bought him for now.
You bought him for 25, so definitely 60 million pound.
So you've got to be happy with that. I mean, he is good as well. 2
Champions Leagues win, 2 Bundesliga wins. Yeah, he's a good player. Sad to see him go, but what age is he now? 23? Get the money when you can, I guess. Montoro also left for 27 million, but what I will say is probably the reason why you're selling them, you got good replacements already there, sitting, waiting, wanting game time. So let's see who else you brought in. We've got Danish Kumar, who's come in as a good centre-back option there. Calabresi for £17 million. Good option up front. Aymar Diaz comes in, a backup goalkeeper. Zhao comes in as well, centre attack midfielder. Keller who is a centre-back. So a lot of options coming in through the door that we can see. There's another left-back. Esparza from Club America, another left-back, and one there from ASEC.
A lot of
Minimas.
good youngsters there. I probably won't get into my first team now, but setting them up for a few years' time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For you guys who are taking it over, who take the save game file over, have a look. Right, we've got to change the tactic, Dad.
Yes.
Why? Just won the Champions League.
I know, with the players that I've sold, though, I felt that I had to change it again. So get the players in that I wanted to be actually playing in certain positions. So, I mean, my left back, you can understand why I've sold my left back. Look at this left back, he's quite good.
Yeah, Ramirez, we've seen come into the side recently. He's
19,
good.
So, yeah.
Raquelme, of course, that left
I've pushed him
midfielder.
forward, up into the wing now.
Yeah, he is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's your best player. All right, I wouldn't have changed it.
I mean, my top two are good as well. So
because that's twice that tactic has won you the Champions League, by the way, because you changed it the season after and you didn't win the Champions League.
I know.
So the Tinkerman strikes again. But we'll see. All right, okay, so how have it been doing?
Only Bayern
Lost
Munich,
to Bayern Munich. Yeah, but that cost you last season.
Yeah.
That did cost you last season.
Lost them twice.
Super Cup as well.
And in the league game.
Okay, yeah. Chelsea popping up for the first time in this.
Yeah.
Obviously, playing the Super Cup. Now you've got to face them in the Champions League phase, as you do Inter and Inter's rivals Milan as well.
Yeah.
Manchester City. So
Still should go through.
a lot of 4 tricky clubs at the start there,
Yeah.
but yeah, and Benfica and Villarreal.
You only need those first 4 games, get 1 win out of it, I think, and then the last 4 games, win them, you're through, and so
All right.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, it's the final season, year number 10 of Youth to Gold with Frankfurt. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's not a league title win.
Yeah, Dortmund done me again.
Bayern.
Bayern Munich done me again, yeah.
Lost 2 games.
Only lost 2, that's a problem, isn't it, you know?
Yeah, but you lost them twice.
Yeah.
And that's the
That's what's
difference.
cost me the league.
Yeah. Because those are the 6 points that you would have gained, 6 points you would have that they would have lost.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think you would have. No, you wouldn't have still won the league. You would have been 1 point behind them, but it would have been still a lot closer. They only conceded 19 goals though in 34
Can't argue
games.
with that, can you?
Disgusting,
I mean,
really.
the season before, when they one season it was 20, didn't they?
Yeah. So there we go. Nelson Vipe only getting 18 goals. He isn't scoring as many. Maybe he's getting sick of being on the transfer list. Or the system keep changing. He's like... Well, there we go. So Gill's also up there in the highest average rating. Nice bit of development there. Van Boxtel in goal is definitely a good number 1 goalkeeper for you guys to
Really
keep
good.
hold of. Other competitions, though. Do we go out with a bang in season number 10? No. Semi-final of the DFB Pokal against Bayern Munich. And knockout playoff, well, in the round of 16 against PSG in the Champions League. Cannot defend that title.
All the big guns done me in the end, didn't they?
Yeah. So I think the target for the Patreon members or the channel members is quite clear. I think we need to load through that 4-3-3, give you that save game file back so you've got that tactic, build your side and build it around that tactic with these new players coming through that Dad's built. And maybe keep to the Youth to Gold system with that £252 million. Can you dominate European football for a few seasons? Have a crack at it yourself. But what did you learn from the Youth to Gold?
Definitely looking for younger players.
Yeah.
Definitely, and how to find them, and you're always telling me not for doing this. Persevere with them, give them game time.
Yeah.
If you think they're good enough to almost get in the first team, take the player away, get him in there, lock him in there, and it will pay off big stuff.
Feel like a proud father.
Yeah, yeah.
I have been telling you about this for so long.
Yeah.
And it took for you to do a Youth to Gold to realise, actually, it's the best way of playing it.
It was, honestly, you if you've never tried it, have a go at it. It's so good to learn things.
Yeah.
I mean, I played all this at home without you helping me, didn't I?
Yeah.
This is the first time you've actually seen all my results and everything, and it was just so good. I was struggling at times, looking at it thinking, wow, look how good he is, and then looking at it thinking, I've got to sell him now. And And one of the hardest problems I had was the first season, like you said. The first season, you can play those players that are older than what you're allowed to, but then getting rid of them. Because what did I have? Four first-team players. And they didn't want to go.
No. Keepers as well.
Goalkeepers especially didn't want to go. And I had to put him in the reserve side and then lock him into the reserve side. Because what was happening, he could have easily...
Just jumped the keeper.
Jump
yeah,
the
so
keeper.
you had to
So I
lock
make
Dennis
sure I
Seaman
locked him
in. Yeah.
So yeah, it was so hard that first season. I got over that, and then it was just like working the season, and it's so rewarding when you buy a player like that player there for 2 million, and then sell it for 100 million.
I mean, we got to appreciate him one last time, I think. Juan Riquelme, from Paraguay. What a player, and the development from just £2.9 million.
Yeah.
So phenomenal stuff. I mean, the player that you actually sold a couple of seasons ago, I think it's worth checking him out and having a look to see how good he actually is now. Where is he? Is he on the next page?
But you went to did he go to PSG?
There he is, Dominique. So let's have appreciate of how good he is now. I mean, that is world-class striker right there. And he is banging in the goals. He's got 20 goals there a season, almost or about. Yeah, then when you're finding those players at the very early stages of their career and you develop them into absolute monsters like this, there's nothing better on Football Manager, in my opinion. So give it a crack with the youth to go. Pick a team that doesn't have that many players that are close to 30. Maybe their club vision is to sign young players. That way, you know you're doing the right thing. You have the right youth facilities, etc. Give it a crack. Only sign teenagers. Do not play players 30 or above. Promise you enjoy your saves if you're looking for something a little bit more different before FM25 comes out. But thank you very much for watching. Really do appreciate it. Leave all your comments down below of your suggestions of what else you want to see, whether it's Dad doing another one, type of this or whatever. And of course, make sure you are subscribed because we are en route to 150k subscribers. We need your help to get there. So we'd really appreciate it if you come along for the journey. And check out this video right here because West Ham have made some unbelievable signings this summer. And then they got rid of Lopetegui because I wanted a job instead. They took me over with one challenge to qualify for European football in the first season. I'll click, see how I got on.